Tom, one thing that strikes me, as a guy that used to work in the Republican Party, Trump is laying the predicate for, I think, an acceptance of a far more center-left government than would have been, because you have an absence of a sane conservative alternative. And Trump has proven that every criticism about the Republican Party was right.
Congressman, real quick, how do House Republicans make the case that you're fighting for affordability when you go back to your districts?
Affordability? What are you talking about?
Affordability is the big...
I'm going to go there tomorrow. Over the 4th. I'm going to get me a couple big lobster tails. I'm going to get me some nice ribeyes.
Would you support paid maternity leave for mothers?
No, ma'am.
Why do you say that?
So when we start supporting stuff, when does it end?
Americans work 5 days a week. The minimum we ought to work is 7 days a week.
They want to draft your kids to die in wars, and they will never fight themselves.
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective. Isn't it pathetic?
We do not want war with Iran. We actually want peace.
If I'm elected president, we are going to drain the swamp in Washington, D.C.
We were a party that was racist, a party that was backward looking, a party that favored the rich, a party that really only focused on helping those who were like us, which meant helping us like, white folks. I argued against that for years, and I was wrong. It turns out that is exactly what the Republican Party is.
Greetings to you, my BPPN family. Welcome to Bold Perspectives Network. I'm Mr. Red. Over the past week, I've been showing you videos of progressive and DSA candidates and how they're making huge changes. I told you that we have to vote out all of these establishment Democrats because they are halting progress. They give you some crumbs, and then because of their weakness and their fecklessness, they continue to lose to people like Donald Trump. People want bold ideas, and that's how a Donald Trump gets into office. But I want to make something clear about my perspective. Both sides are not the same when it comes to their beliefs, their morals, how they legislate, how they pass laws. Because I can tell you that the Republicans are totally bad at this. In today's video, what I'm going to show you is Republicans themselves, that we were right about Republicans. They don't care about us, but they never do anything that advances the country for everyday people. But they are great advancing the country for businesses, corporations, and themselves. We have much to discuss. Let's strap in. Let's get after it.
I absolutely hate a both sides, and I'm glad I'm not the only one. Watch this.
Either side is, again, I don't want to do the both sides bullshit because that's just not true. One side is worse than the other, objectively speaking, and that's a big problem that we have culturally too, is thinking like, oh, but these are both crazy people. It's like, I really don't believe that, especially not in this moment. One side's disappearing people and one side wants children to to have health care. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's equivalent. And maybe at different times, even the first Trump administration, I could maybe humor that argument, but we're past that.
Since 1989, 51 million jobs have been created. Look at this. 50 million by Democrats, only 1 million by Republicans. Is that a good enough stat for you? Only 4 presidents in American history have balanced the budget. All 4 of them were Democrats. Is that a good enough stat for you? The president responsible for creating Social Security? Democrat. The president responsible for creating Medicare? Democrat. The modern equivalent to that, the Affordable Care Act, which made sure that people could afford insurance, made sure that children up till the age of 26 could be on their parents' insurance, and made sure that people with preconditions were not denied insurance, was a Democrat, aka Obamacare.
A lot of people, believe it or not, don't know these things. There are still people that don't know that the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, is Obamacare. They want to blame Obama for everything because of the color of his skin. But they don't realize that Democrats just like him have always been pushing for policies to help everyday Americans beat these corporations. And now since Trump has been in office, we see that So much deregulation has happened. So many people have been fired. Have you noticed that every day there's a new alert on your phone about some shit that's messed up? That there's some new strain of virus, some new bacteria. Now they got to get rid of 30 pounds of beef. You can't eat your lettuce. All our food is being affected. This is all due to the deregulation in this administration. Matter of fact, measles, think about this. A lot of these things that we heard about in our textbooks where people were getting sick and dying, these things are coming back because the Trump administration has gotten rid of people that make sure that we are safe, that our food is safe. I wanted to start with that pretext because what you're going to see coming up next is the terrible mentality of the people, the Republicans, that are in office right now.
Hi, you're my state rep. How did you just vote on the resolution?
I voted yes.
Okay, your district voted overwhelmingly in favor of that, right?
Yes.
More voted for that than voted for you, correct?
Yes.
And you still chose to vote against all of us?
I voted to follow my conscience.
Okay, you're here to represent your constituents, though, correct? Or your conscience? Which one is it? Because I'm confused.
I'm here to represent everybody.
Okay, so then you ignored our vote because...
I am a pro-life candidate.
Yes, and that's great. But if you're going to run for office to represent constituents, you should respect our votes, correct?
I respect the people who I represent.
Who you choose to agree with?
I vote on many things that I may not necessarily disagree with.
But we voted on this. You have on record how many of us wanted this.
Yes.
And you went against it.
Yes.
Because why?
I am morally opposed to abortion.
You are a terrible representative.
Congressman, real quick, how do House Republicans make the case that you're fighting for affordability when you go back to your districts?
Affordability? What are you talking about?
Affordability is the big...
I'm going to go there tomorrow. Over the 4th. I'm going to get me a couple big lobster tails. I'm going to get me some nice ribeyes. I'm going to sit in my backyard with my family, my neighbors, and we're going to be enjoying the 4th, celebrating 250 years, the birthday. We're going to be celebrating the greatest president in my lifetime, Donald J. Trump. Maybe watch some fireworks. Everybody understands you're going to see a little increase in energy prices because of Iran. I mean, come on, people aren't stupid. You realize that when you have a conflict Iran. But I think in the end, this short-term increase in some of the costs of energy, gasoline and stuff, is temporary. So we got to do that. We have to do that. And I think the overall goal and objective is to make sure Iran never has a nuclear weapon. So I'm okay with the increase in fuel because you knew it was going to happen with oil and the Strait and everything. But it's a temporary issue.
Would you support paid maternity leave for mothers?
No, ma'am.
Why do you say that?
So when we start supporting stuff, when does it end? We live in a generation that's got to work. We keep giving and giving and giving and giving. It comes to a point, when's enough? Every situation is different. We don't live in a socialist country. It's an economic status. We live in a capitalist country, We got to quit being socialist. So yes, we need to spend time with our kids, but obviously you work to get out of poverty. But it's sacrifice. You have to have sacrifice in life. Christians, you learn to sacrifice. You crucify your flesh, right? To live in that spiritual realm. I see too many women who can do it. I think today we've created a lazy generation. Maybe a day or two or something like that, but then you see people take advantage of it. My thing is enough's enough of just charity and giving out. And I'm a charitable person, I'm obviously run a ministry that helps people, but there's a difference in enabling and then creating a socialist country.
So are Democrats going to come across the line and join some of you, and are they as clear-eyed on the mission?
I hope so. Americans work 5 days a week. The minimum we ought to work is 7 days a week. I'm a business guy. As business people, I have to work every day. We need to work every day to get this stuff done.
This is what these people think about you. I don't know if you could tell from that, but they're going to go home and have ribeye steaks in their huge-ass homes and backyards that they can afford because you pay their salaries. They're making $180-something thousand a year, not to mention that they have the inside track on bills and appropriations that's coming up that they can then leverage in the stock market. Yes, a lot of these Republicans, Democrats too, but Republicans by far make more in the stock market than anyone else does in the government because they are okay with insider trading. They're okay with leveraging the knowledge that they have. They're okay with being on these appropriation committees where they hear what's coming up and then they take that information and then they get stocks on it. They'll tell you that you're lazy and that you don't deserve nothing for free, even though your tax money is paying for these services. There is no reason that we should be running deficits the way that we are. And one of the things that happens every time that Republicans run up a deficit, they put us into a recession. They don't have to worry about the gas prices going up. Yet they're going to tell you that you have to suffer for it, that you have to feel a little pain for it, where they can write off all of this stuff. All of this stuff is a tax write-off for them to go eat lunch, for them to go take these business trips. All of these things they're going to write off on their taxes. They're not feeling it. Boomers are living a completely different lifestyle than, say, millennials and Gen Z. Again, they can afford their homes. And they're going to tell you that you need to work 7 days a week. Do you also realize that a lot of the times Congress is only in session only half the year? So they're making $180,000 to only work 6 months out of the year. Think about that for a moment. Imagine if you only had to work every other month and you're getting paid almost $200,000 a year. And this douche-tard right here, let's talk about him real quick, okay? Let's talk about this douche. He's running a ministry and he's saying he doesn't want to do anything for the people. This is another problem with the Republicans and their beliefs and ideologies. They will sit there and tell you that they're Christians, but they don't want to do anything for anyone. They are more worried about being capitalists than they are worried about being actual Christians. This man will tell you that you don't deserve anything for free, but he doesn't tell you that your taxes pay for it and that your tax money is now being siphoned up to the top people, the people that pay his salary. The people that pay him all that extra money they get. What also is crazy about this is Mitch McConnell, okay? Mitch McConnell is still collecting his paycheck while he's been on leave. He hasn't done one bill. He hasn't been seen, hasn't made any declaration, have all this time off. Imagine if you got sick. Could you afford to miss time at work?
Mitch McConnell has been on medical leave since June 14th, collecting his full $174,000 salary the whole time. But back in 1993, he voted no on the Family and Medical Leave Act, y'all. You know, the bill that gives regular folks like you and me 12 weeks of unpaid leave to recover from illness or care for family, unpaid. Yeah, he still said no. Since 1985, he's voted against medical leave, paid or unpaid, at least 23 separate times. 2020, the height of COVID, he blocked paid sick leave for essential workers, y'all. 2022, voted against 7 days of paid sick leave for freight workers, freight rail workers. So let's be clear. Mitch McConnell doesn't believe you deserve time to heal. But meanwhile, he's been resting comfortably on your dime for 2 months.
So how do you square that? How do you square the fact that someone like Mitch McConnell, who continuously votes against you being able to recover when you're sick, you being able to still have the peace of mind that your family is going to be taken care of while you're on sick leave, while this man is nowhere to be seen? His aides are still getting paid, even though he hasn't been to work. This is what I'm talking about, the hypocrisy of the Republican Party, that they don't care about you. The matter of fact, it is my belief that these Republicans are okay right now with people being sick because they are in bed with people that believe that there are too many people in this country. They believe that there's too many people in this world. These are the type of people that they're in bed with who have this mentality and philosophy. This is why they don't care if you get sick. This is why our food is degraded. This is why we are eating slop. This is why our food has chemicals in it that no other countries will allow, because they don't care.
What should Congress do about gas prices at $4.11 national average?
Well, there's nothing we can do. I mean, I don't like to brag about all the expensive places I've been, but earlier today I went to the gas station. Gasoline and diesel fuel and oil is a product of the conflict in Iran.
How do you square that patience with impatience with gas prices under Biden when it at times is $3.30, $3.40?
I don't have to square anything with you.
Politicians should not get a free pass on the ridiculously high energy prices under the Biden administration.
Do you think that the war should stop because of this? How patient can you be?
About energy prices.
Just because gas prices have come down a little bit, they're still really high.
$4.30 gas prices. Do you think the war in Iran has gone on long enough?
We're seeing gas prices here climbing at home, in particular here in Metro Detroit with what's going on with Iran and the impacts in the Strait of Hormuz. What is the administration doing to help keep gas prices down, and where do you see gas prices going here in the near future?
Well, the President of the United States has been crystal clear about this. Look, gas prices are up. And we know they're up, and we know that people are hurting because of it, and we're doing everything that we can to ensure that they stay lower. I will say, the President said this, and I certainly agree with it. This is a temporary blip. Okay, what happened under the Biden administration is the gas prices were high for 4 years. Gas prices are higher right now, and frankly, they're not even as high as they were during certain parts of the Biden administration because of what's going on in the Middle East. It's not going to last forever. We're going to take care of business. We're going to come back home, and when that happens, you're going to see energy prices come back down to reality. But
now I want to ask a question. Just humor me here. How many of you all believe that this fat face is actually thinking that they're doing something about it? Do you think they're doing anything about it? Or is Trump worried about a damn reflecting pool? Or is Trump worried about a goddamn ballroom? Or is Trump worried about, reporters that question him with legitimate questions? Or protecting his, bed winch? All right? How many of y'all think he's actually worried about gasoline? Again, one of the issues is that you have people like J.D. Vance who opposed Trump at one time. This war was started by Trump. His actions when it comes to this war is a result of him and him alone. Those tariffs is a result of Trump, who is a Republican. This administration, Republican. The Congress, Republican. The Senate, Republican. And the Supreme Court, which rubber stamped him to be able to have these sweeping executive powers, all voted under by Donald Trump. The fact that we are almost more than a year and a half, coming up on almost 2 years since the last election, and they're still blaming Biden for it, still comparing themselves to Biden. That's a problem.
So yesterday, Nevada's Governor Joe Lombardo stood on a stage in Las Vegas and told a crowd of loud Trump supporters that while he knows vetoing so many bills is bad governance, he had to do it. Otherwise, Nevada might have turned into California, and he had to protect us.
Those vetoes protected Nevada families, businesses, and taxpayers. Spent the last 3.5 years protecting Nevada from becoming California.
So let's go through all the ways that Joe has protected us. He vetoed AB 319, the free school meals bill, a bill that would have fed hungry school children. He vetoed AB 217, the Student Safety Act, a bill that would have protected immigrant children going to school. Again, just protecting us from the worst of the worst. He vetoed AB 388, a bill that would have expanded paid family leave, but he protected us from spending quality time with our young families. He vetoed AB 185, a bipartisan bill that would have made childcare more available and affordable.
Rural Texas has spent 30 years being told the danger was Austin liberals and Washington Democrats, and yet Democrats have not won a single statewide office in Texas since 1994. So whoever is tearing up our state right now, y'all put them there. Up in the Panhandle, they're building data centers, giant warehouses of computers running AI, and they drink water and power like a frat house drinks beer. Texas Republicans never gave counties the power to say no. Nearly 2 out of 3 rural Texans don't want one near them. Abbott ordered a review, then refused to call lawmakers back to Austin to write an actual law. This same man dragged them back for 2 special sessions in one summer to rig the voting maps and grab 5 more seats in Congress. So he can find time when it's about holding power, but he cannot find it when it's about your water.
If you are having problems in your state, if things aren't going the way they're supposed to, if you seem to have the same issues over and over, and you happen to live in a quote-unquote red state, it is most likely because your elected representatives are pieces of shit. Yes, I said it. That's right. They are pieces of shit. Because we continue to see this over and over. People in red states are angry that things aren't going well. So the Republicans will have you blaming Democrats from it, even when Democrats aren't even in power. The reason why nothing changes is because you all believe in a goddamn party that doesn't believe in anything but themselves.
It's that Trump is a really bad candidate, and frankly, I think a really bad person.
There is no way we are going to allow a con artist to take over the conservative movement, and Donald Trump is a con artist.
It's typical Trump. All bluster, very little substance. He talks a tough game.
And for you to think that you can pimp out our proud servicemen and women to the Prince of Saudi Arabia is disgraceful. And it once again shows that you are unfit to serve as our commander-in-chief.
I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him.
I would not support the Republican Party. There's no chance I would support the Republican Party. You know, how could I or any American voter support a political party that's not loyal to the United States, that puts the interests of a foreign country above those of its own citizens? I voted Republican my entire life. I worked at Fox News, CNN, MSNBC. I've been a consistent defender for 35 years of the Republican Party. I mean, very consistent defender. But there's no defending this because it's immoral. And it's exactly the opposite of what a political party in a democracy is charged with doing, which is representing its own voters, its own citizens, its own nation. And they're not doing that. So no, I'm out. And if I'm out, then I think a lot of other people are out.
All right, so let's be clear about something when it comes to this Republican revolt that we're seeing in the Congress and the Senate. It's bullshit. The reason I'm calling this bullshit is because it's too fucking late. Trump is the monster that they created, that they fed, that they put up on the mountaintop. But yet never once did they think that the monster would start attacking them. But guess what? He did. And your revolt now is too fucking late. You had a chance when he admitted on tape to committing assault. You didn't take it. You had a chance to stop him when he tried to bribe another country on the phone. You didn't take it. You had a chance when he was caught asking voting officials to fabricate 11,780 votes for him. You didn't take it. You had a chance when he tried to overthrow the government. You didn't take it. You had a chance when all economists knew that everything in his plan when it came to tariffs was complete and utter bullshit. You didn't take it. You also had a chance when he was convicted of 34 felony counts for committing fraud. You didn't take it. And you had a chance when he shut the government down in order to get his big, beautiful bill, which would steal health care and food from the mouths of the Americans, but you didn't take it. You've had dozens and dozens of chances with every time that he's lied to you and every single time that he monetized the office of the president, you had a chance. But you didn't take it.
I'm going to just be plain about this, but if you vote for Republicans, then you're an idiot. I'm not saying that you're not an idiot for voting for Democrats, but this whole both sides are the same, that argument is done. Because one side continues to put us in economic peril, in physical peril, in international peril. And then when they completely destroy the shit, you all say, well, I'm going to vote Democrats back in because we got to make a change. And then you give Democrats 4 years or 8 years to try to fix all of the bullshit that the Republicans done. And then you say, these Democrats aren't doing enough. And then you put the same people back in that fucked it up before. This pattern has been going on my entire existence, almost 50 years. This has been going on. You all continue to vote with your feelings instead of voting based on the policies. And to sit here and to think that black and brown people are the problem in this country. No, there seems to be one problem in this country. That you have a bunch of little PP dudes who are scared of change, who want to continue to hold on to power, who want to continue to hold on to dying ideologies that have done nothing but make us worse, not better, terrible, not great again. This argument is done. This is why I can't take any of you all serious. I can't take you all serious because all of the warning signs are there. For someone like Tucker Carlson to take 35 fucking years to realize something that I knew when I was a kid, when the policies affected the people around us. When you see a bunch of people who were normal people and now all of a sudden they're strung out on drugs. you realize that the policies of the government affecting the everyday people, every time it's a Republican administration, we're in some fucking war, or our taxes are going up, economic disparity that we feel in our pockets. It's always under these goddamn Republicans. It didn't take me 35 years, Tucker. Men like Tucker Carlson were on TV making up the most sensationalist news just to try to make the point that his side has some type of moral fucking values. There is nothing moral about you blaming people that don't look like you, that you, Tucker Carlson, were putting people on TV saying that black people were gangsters and thugs. This was the same Tucker Carlson. And then now all of a sudden he has an epiphany. A lot of these people that are on the right, that are Republicans, are going to switch their tune because people are tuning them out. And they're going to say whatever it takes for them to get those viewers back. I don't trust none of them. I don't trust any Republicans. And I definitely don't trust anyone who has ever voted for Donald Trump, because your judgment is in question. We were right about Republicans. They don't give a shit about you. Stay vigilant. Stay engaged. Stay revolutionary.